Long before the lights, the trophies, the billion-dollar legacy, there was just a boy in Akron with a dream so wild, so vivid, it refused to let him go. LeBron James was never handed anything. Raised by a single mother, Gloria, who was barely out of childhood herself when she had him, LeBron's life was forged in the cracks of struggle. Akron, Ohio wasn't the kind of place you escaped. It was the kind of place you endured. Rent wasn't always paid on time. They moved from apartment to apartment, sometimes staying with friends, sometimes with strangers. But through it all, Gloria poured everything she had into her son. She didn't give him luxury. She gave him belief. And somehow that was enough. It started with a dream. Not the one day I want to play in the NBA kind. No, this was literal. LeBron, still just a kid, maybe 15, maybe younger, was lying in a beat-up bed in a house with thin walls and colder nights. Sleep pulled him under, and then the vision came. He was older in it, bigger, stronger. He looked down and saw a jersey, not high school, not college, but something more. Bright lights rained down from above. The crowd roared in slow motion. There were millions watching. He knew the weight of the moment. It was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And in that dream, he was calm, like he'd been there 1,000 times. He could feel the sweat on his palms, the ball heavy in his hands. He heard the announcers shouting his name, the shot clock ticking, the bounce of the ball echoing through the floor of history. He rose, released, and swish. The arena erupted. Teammates swarmed. Cameras flashed. And there he stood, not just victorious, but fulfilled. He looked down again. It was a Lakers jersey. In the corner of the court sat a trophy. And not just one, several. 4, to be exact. Then he woke up. But something stayed with him. Something cold and electric in his spine. He told his mom. Told a friend or two. But most of all, he held it. Protected it. Lived as if that dream wasn't a fantasy. It was a preview. And then he got to work. The rest of the world was playing basketball. LeBron was building an empire. He studied the game like a scientist studies patterns. He worked on his body like a sculptor chips at marble. While other kids were chasing popularity, LeBron was chasing inevitability. By the time he was 17, he wasn't just a top prospect, he was a headline. NBA scouts filled his high school bleachers. ESPN was broadcasting his games like they were the finals. People whispered next Jordan before he even had a diploma. The weight of expectation should have crushed him. But LeBron didn't flinch. How could he? He already saw how it ended. When the Cleveland Cavaliers drafted him number 1 overall in 2003, the pressure became a furnace. Grown men doubted him. Legends questioned whether a kid straight out of high school could carry a franchise, a city, a league. But LeBron knew better. In Miami, he found his stride. Teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and within 4 years, collected 2 championships. But even then, critics said he couldn't do it alone. They said he left home to chase a shortcut. So he came back. Back to Cleveland. Back to the team that drafted him. Back to the city that once burned his jersey. And in 2016, he delivered a title, the first in over 50 years. He came home and did the impossible. Still, the dream wasn't done. He signed with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2018. The whispers started again. He's too old. He's cashing out. It's a legacy move, not a championship move. But they didn't know. LeBron wasn't following the league. He was following the script. His script. In 2020, in the strangest season in NBA history, amidst a global pandemic, the league went into a bubble. No fans. No home court advantage. No noise, except the squeak of sneakers and the beat of heartbeats under pressure. And there, in silence, LeBron made the noise that mattered most. He won his fourth championship. It was eerie, almost surreal. The quiet, the intensity, the stillness of that court mirrored the dream he had as a boy. It didn't matter that it wasn't in a packed Staples Center. It didn't matter that the crowd wasn't there. The feeling was the same. Later, when asked about how he handled pressure, how he seemed so composed in those moments, he gave his usual humble answer. Spoke of preparation, teamwork, focus. But the real answer? He already lived it. This wasn't destiny handed to him. It was destiny declared by him. From the moment he opened his eyes that morning in Akron, everything in his life bent toward that dream. Now he's a billionaire, a father, a mentor, a mogul. He's building schools and empires, playing beside his son, cementing his legacy not just as a player, but as a force. Some players leave the game. LeBron is rewriting what the end even looks like. And maybe that's the most powerful part of it all, that a boy from nowhere, with every reason to give up, once saw a vision so clear he never questioned it. He never needed a sign or a fortune teller or a prophecy. He just needed that dream. That one dream. The one that said, "This is who you are. This is what's coming. Now, act like it." So he did.